WFP, WFPO came up with the accessibility map. I was designed 3 years ago. They have a project about Darfur. They start with Darfur. They create accessibility map. They rank the road 3 levels. 1, accessible, medium risk, which is you could have some problems, security, and non-accessible. And it worked. It helped them a lot. They did something now for Somalia, but they stopped actually for security reasons. They couldn't do anymore. And they were SMS messages. People goes around, volunteer on a job, saying, "Oh, road 2 is open. There is a bridge broke, but you can pass a truck of 6 feet or 3 feet wide truck and go through this." Text messages to the people who collected the data, and they create the map. They have it just for the southern of Somalia. They never come up all the way up because for security reasons. So training and programs and preparedness is very important for this for the emergency response. Who's going to be the king? Who's going to be the ruler? Or who's going to be the coordinator, the main coordinator for this coordination between all these agencies? We have to think about that. We have to think about if tomorrow another Katrina hit this country, I don't know if the U.S. is prepared, but if there's another earthquake hit Pakistan, who's going to be the main coordinator for the emergency? OCHA is the platform. OCHA is the main person or the main agency who does the work for the UN. But we have to coordinate with OCHA. We have to know how they do work and how we work with them, and they can read our document. Can we read their document? Can we read their forms? Can they read our forms? How we can merge this form when we finish the assessment? So there's a lot of things. I think one of the doctor ideas is the fact that we need to have a training for everybody in the ground and off the ground to train them how to coordinate together, how we work together, how we can read our document together and can come to a conclusion so we can help better. It's very important to support the local government, the local emergency group, because most of the time we came as a foreigner to the country to help the country, and we come with our own technology, we come with our ideas, but really, sometimes they really need to sit with the local to ask him, how in the hell are we going to get through this road? Do you have any idea? There's nothing. And it probably will be a simple idea, a donkey, it will be probably a horse. There are simple ideas. We need to be prepared to deal with the slowest level of the government, to work with them one-on-one to get our job done. And that requires a lot of training and a lot of patience. So we need to be prepared for that. As we discussed, corporate sponsorship, IBM, Cisco, believe it or not, Gap, they do a lot of works, humanitarian works. I mean, there's a lot of actors up there. We need just to grab them. They're all happy to have the UNICEF or the UN tag in their sponsorship. So these people, they're open for us. We need to dig in them and to work with them. WFP has a very funny game. It's called Emergency Game. It's about they drop you out of parachute and you come to the land and you have to save people and to let trucks go through stuff. It's a very entertaining game. It's long, but it's funny. It's good. It's entertaining. But I give it a reality check, and it's very good. We have a small one in DOC we developed about getting a certificate about logistic, and it has 4 or 5 steps video, and I got one a few days ago. It was very entertaining. It was short, but it was very good. But we need to get to this little training things, web support training, which will get people to be trained in a basic response. I work in an emergency program, and I work in an Operation Center, OPSN, which is coordinate all the emergency response for the UNICEF. And we do simple things called simulation. We call the country and we do simulation for an hour with the country. We pick a country and we say, okay, there's an earthquake here. Do you have any idea where's the earthquake? Do you know anything if anybody died or any damage? And they go back to us and half an hour later we say, okay, we got this. We have 15,000 people injured, 2,000 dead. We ask him for, give us what the supplies in the warehouses, what the closest warehouse to the affected area, and we'll go on for an hour and a half. We get the country in a rhythm where they are really almost in an emergency, responding to emergency. But it's not an emergency. It doesn't cost money because of phone lines, a couple emails. It takes an hour and a half. But you feel by the end of the day, the people who participate in this from different offices in the country or the region, they're familiar with the response and they follow it. When things happen, they go with the same rhythm. It's called the Handbooks for Emergency for UNICEF, and I think Peter very familiar with this fat book, and it's a really good book. But now we put it in CDs, make it easy for people. Yeah. Well, the biggest conclusion for this group is ICT become program, not just a support function. It is a program, and has to be monitored, it has to be coordinated, it has to be established. And I think for each agency, either for the whole UN system or for UNICEF or other agencies, we have to have a department who deal with these issues clearly and efficiently, and with a really open mind about all the similar technology, open source technology, whatever technology is going to work for us. I mean, there's certain technology work for certain countries, certain countries doesn't work for other countries. We need to work with base and bay, one by one. We can have one cut clear solution for all the problems for ICT. We need to have different solution for each country, customize it to the country. We can wear the same pants in this room. Each one has a different size. I have 34 by 34. Nobody can fit that one. So it's basically, this is the way it is, very simple way. We need to customize our response, customize our technology to fit with the minimum for any basic country we're dealing with. And we know our target, we know our suspects, so we need to work with that. There is a beautiful document produced by UNICEF. It's called Lesson Learned. We produce this document every time we have an emergency, and we evaluate our response. We list all the lessons we learned from the response we did, the bad, the good, and the ugly. We try to eliminate the ugly for the second round. The bad, we keep them because they teach us a lot of good things, and the good, we follow them and we emphasize on them, and we make them as rules for the second emergency. So that's something we could learn from other agencies, from other NGOs, what they learned from the country, what they did wrong, what did work, what didn't work, and goes on. I did the things. I think I finished. There's nothing there. Okay, thank you.
As you can see from the summary, we went off the point slightly in our discussion. It started off about convoys and went to hot air balloons, UAVs, and all kinds of other things. Are there any questions to that? Okay, I think Erica, you wanted to do something else at this point.